Hello, welcome back, cartooners. Welcome to Cartooning with Paul. Today, I'm going to show you how to draw anxiety from Inside Out 2. So, let's get started. Hey, cartooners, welcome back. I know it's a long time no see. I apologize. Thank you, everybody, for your emails, your comments. Everything's fine. It's just been a little busy. I know it's busy for everybody, but it was really hard for me to carve out some time. But I'm making it a goal to get this channel going again. But I want to thank you all for your subscribers, for spreading the word on the channel. The numbers are still really good, and I really have you guys to thank. So thank you so much. Now, before we get started, I want to throw a big shout out to Charles. Charles actually found me, recognized me out in the animation building over at California Adventure. If you've never been there before, it's in that Hollywood area over at DCA in Disneyland. I work over there as an artist over at the Animation Academy when I'm not working at Turtle Talk with Crush, where you can most likely find me. I'm usually over there. But I had this awesome back and forth with one of our own. We have Charles here, who was in line for one of my friends teaching Wally. So while he was inside, I did a drawing for him, and then he surprised me with this great sketch that he did over at the Animation Academy. Check that out, huh? Very nicely done. Charles, thank you so much for giving this to me. I'm going to keep it up in this studio and just be a reminder of how cool you were. So thank you so much. So at any rate, I thought we would get this ball rolling while sketching a design from the brand new Pixar film, Inside Out 2. It's doing extremely well in the box office, and actually drawing these characters really packs in the audiences at work. So I thought, let's start with anxiety. All right, I'm going to start with a triangle. Very lightly and loosely, guys. You know how we go here. Very light and loose, because we're going to go over this with actual detail. And with this triangle, I'm just going to draw a line straight through as a guideline. And then I'm going to draw in another line right about halfway down that triangle. What that's going to do is give me my eye line. So I'm going to draw a big circle on either side of this eye line. Now, if you overlap your circles, that's actually better, because one of these circles does overlap when she's looking at you straight on. So we've got these great big eyes. And what we're going to do is we're going to give her a little personality right away. We're going to give her some eyelids. So I'm going to draw in these little curved lines in here, right at the bottom of these circles. And then from the rest of it, let's give her a nice big wide eye expression. So I'm going to draw in a little line right on the inside of the circle, and then we'll just darken in the line around it. So what we're doing is we're giving her a nice big wide open eye expression while giving her some eyelids as well. The eyelids are pulled back, so they're just big muscle around the eye, just like that. Now that we've got the eyes drawn in there, let's give her her irises and her pupils. Now, anxiety has these very, very small irises and pupils. And if you're really cartooning it up, you can just draw in little dots. That's up to you. But I'm just going to draw in these circles, and then inside it, draw in the pupil. Just like that. Nice and small, because she's full of all kinds of worry and fear, and we want to make that really shine through by drawing those irises pretty small. So now that we have that in there, we got to draw in this great big wide mouth. That mouth is very expressive, but it pulls way out from her face. So at first, I'm just going to very lightly draw in almost like a rectangle, right? But if we're going to pull that mouth up, we're going to draw in these big rounded shapes that come right out of that rectangle and tilt it up like so. And now that we have that in there, I'm going to kind of draw inside that line to give her the corners of her mouth. You see what we're doing here? We're giving her her lips, her cheeks, whatever this flesh is to her body here, her head, and just continue it into the face. So now that we're in here, let's give her a mouth. And this mouth, I mean, she's just a bundle of nerves, right? So we're just going to give her this wacky, curvy mouth. Don't worry about how many bumps or grooves you're putting into this thing. This is your sketch. You can do it however you want. And now that we have that in there, before I draw the bottom part, let's give her teeth. And her teeth are these big, rounded U shapes. They don't go down too deep. And you got to separate them a little bit. She does a lot of comic relief, so you keep it looking silly, right? And now that we have that in there, you can really do this however you want. If you want her to have a big open mouth expression, you're free to do so. I'm actually looking at a model for reference, and she's kind of biting her lower lip. So I'm going to kind of bring that in there like so. Give her some lower teeth in here. You don't see a whole lot because she's biting her lower lip. And then I'm just going to shade this in, give it a little bit of depth, and to show you what we're doing here. So now that we have that in there, you just kind of bring it in like so. And then to give her her neck, which is long and thin, we'll do that like so. Like so. And let's give her her shoulders. Like that. She wears stripes, so we're just going to make sure that we add some stripes in here. Don't forget to curve them, to round those out so that you can see that she's three-dimensional. And now the fun part is that great big poofy hair. So you remember I drew that vertical line up a little bit, right? That's for a little bit of reference here. Let's draw in this hair coming out here, kind of like a water fountain almost, right? So we'll throw in some curves in here like that. Now, when you're drawing out hair, you don't want to draw every single strand of hair. That gets really, really tiresome. So you just kind of give some lines here and there, just to kind of break up the shape. And because it's hair, and it's pretty wild and crazy, you can really just have fun with this. What I'm going to do is just kind of start it off here, but let's draw the top of it. And it actually spreads out kind of high up here, right? So let's really give it some body. Picturing like one of those big water fountains that you'll see out in the park. just nice and big in there like so. And then you can go back in and just add a little texture here and there. Right? You can have them overlapping. You don't have to go too crazy, as long as you got the idea in there. But you see what I mean about not going too far with all of those hair groups. If you start drawing in individual hairs all over the place, it'll look messy and overly done. So now the last thing we have to do is throw in those expressive eyebrows. And with this being in the world of Inside Out, those eyebrows don't necessarily attach to the body. They kind of float upward, right? So we're going to draw in an eyebrow up here in the middle of nowhere. And you want it to taper in by the outside of the eyebrow. You want it to get thicker toward the middle. But I can't leave it like that. I got to darken that in. They're darker eyebrows, right? So, got to make sure they stand out in the sketch. Yeah, she's looking pretty anxious to me. What do you think? And of course, the last thing we have to do with our sketches, you got to sign them. That way, you can claim it as your own. And there we have it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like this video. If you do, please don't forget to give it a little thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we will catch you guys later.